Today I'm going to try installing this Civic front lip on the Acura EL front bumper. Alright, so before I get started guys, just want to remind you, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. If this video is helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And yeah, let's get into this. So one of the recent cars that we picked up happened to be a 98 Honda Civic hatchback. And it just so happened to have this front lip on the front bumper. And I did some research on some of the Honda forums just to see if it would actually fit on the Acura EL or the Honda Domani front bumper, and there was a lot of people saying that it will not fit because it's not made for it, and then there was other people saying that it will fit with a bit of modification with a heat gun and shaping it to fit. So I'm gonna find out today if it actually fits or not. So I just so happen to have both bumpers and I want to try fitting the Civic lip on the EL bumper. So let's just dig into this and see if it actually will fit. So the way this lip is attached to this bumper is actually held on by what looks like interior panel clips or bumper clips, just your standard clip that you would find on a Civic anyway. So they've drilled holes through the lip and the bumper to fit these clips on here, and there's nothing from underneath. So it's a little bit different setup than some of the lips that I'm used to. But let's get this thing off of here and get it mocked up on the EL bumper, and we'll see how far off it is. Alright, so I got a quick mock-up here, and it actually doesn't fit too bad. It's definitely not perfect. It's going to require some trimming and molding, but it doesn't actually look that bad. So one thing I can tell is that there is a gap right here, and where this mounting hole was on the other bumper, it actually won't bolt into anything, so I'll probably end up having to plug that up. And then up here, it seems like it's hitting up against this part of the bumper, so I may need to just do a little bit of a trim in here, which will allow this to push in farther. And I think by doing that, it'll suck in this gap. So I think it's definitely doable. I'll be able to use this mounting hole right here. I don't want to use the same clips that they were using. I think I'm going to use like a nice hex hardware or something similar to what I have mounting my license plate. But yeah, I think I can make this work just with a little bit of trimming and molding, and it shouldn't actually fit too bad. So I'm going to see if I can do a bit more work on it to get it fit a little bit better, and then we'll see where we're at. Alright, so I've done quite a bit of trimming with the Dremel and just taking away little by little until I got to where I like the way it sits. So as you can see, the gap is pretty much gone now. I think once it's actually mounted, it'll suck in the gap quite a bit more. So I think this will work, and what I've done up here too, just to clean it up a little bit more, is I rounded off this edge. So if you come onto this side, you can see it had this really sharp corner on it, and I didn't really like the way that that looked. So I kind of just smoothed it out a bit, so now it's a bit more of a gradual wave to it. It's not such a sharp edge. And I'm basically going to do the same on this side now. So this is kind of a comparison. That's what the gap was before. And if we get this mounted, that's kind of what it'll be once it's mounted. So it's a lot better than it was. It's still not perfect, but keep in mind it's going on a race car, so it doesn't need to be perfect. But I'm really happy with the way it's turning out so far. So we'll get the other side done, and then we'll start mounting this thing. Alright, so I think I have most of the gaps pretty well taken care of. So what I'm going to do now, I guess there's a little bit of a gap there yet, but I'm going to start mounting it, starting on the sides here, and this side here, and then I'm kind of just going to work my way to the middle. So basically I'm going to start by positioning this where I want it. I think it's pretty close to where I want it right now. It seems to fill up the gaps pretty good in this position. So just drill a hole through here. Same on the other side, and then I will be using a hex bolt and nut from the back side. And that should hold it in place pretty good, I think. So I'm gonna get started drilling and see how it fits. Alright, well, I guess that answers my question. EK Civic front lip will fit on an Acura EL or a Honda Domani front bumper. It requires a little bit of modification. I just had to do a little bit of trimming around some of the edges there, but other than that, it fits perfectly. There's next to no gaps on it, so I'm very happy with the way it sits on there. This particular lip was mounted a little bit differently. Normally there's double-sided tape involved, or it gets mounted from underneath. This one actually had the mounting holes on the outside, so it may be a little bit of a different situation trying to get a standard lip to fit, like let's say a factory SI or a Canadian SIR lip on an EL bumper. It may require some different modification, but all in all, I think any lip would fit. It would just require whatever modification would need to be done to it, but for the most part the gaps all filled up nicely, and I have no complaints. So if this video was helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that button, and we'll see you on the next one.